Okay, a couple things I want to show you. First of all, here's your textbook. Energy, its use in the environment. Let's see if I can adjust the, there we go, that looks a little clearer. Okay, energy, its use in the environment. Fourth edition, I will tell you that the third edition exists and you can find it online. It's not exactly the same as the fourth edition, and you could probably get away with using it. The only thing is that when there's textbook assignments, you're going to have to get the questions from someone else because the questions that are in the third edition are different. Anyway, the energy, its use in the environment can be found at Gibson's bookstore or online. All right, and then I've got a handful of other things here for you. Some kind of hippie book with some lady trying to hold the sun, about alternative energy or something like that. So that's available for you if you want it. Taking Sides. This is a book that talks about, I know you can't read it because it's blue on green, clashing views on controversial environmental issues. So this is more a book that talks about some social issues and things like that. Some of the questions that they pose in this book are some of the questions that I use for your discussion forum questions. So if you're more interested in the social aspects of energy or the environmental movement or things like that, this might be a book for you. All right. The Self-Sufficiency Specialist. There's just so many books like this out there, and of course I have to own all of them. This one shows on the front is some kind of like sustainable chicken coop. One of my students actually did this a few years ago with some success, so if you're interested in some more sort of garden type things, this book is for you. So it's very good actually. All right, some other random book about tips for going green. You know, there's a ton of these books out there, and a lot of them are sort of mediocre, but they usually have some, you know, there's a couple of good things in there. So these are all at your disposal, and you're probably wondering, well, why am I going to read them? Well, you're going to need, and we'll talk about this in future lectures, you need some primary and secondary sources for your final project, which uses a scientific method. So you're going to want to look at what other people have done in the past, other results, anything that you can find that has some kind of definite scientific background to it. Okay, so here's a publication. This is a periodical called North American Clean Energy, and as you can see, it's a big giant magazine. It's just enormous. And it's got all kinds of new and updated stuff and cool toys and crazy boxes that produce lightning. So this is a pretty good publication, and I've got tons of these and Popular Mechanics and Mother Earth News and all kinds of other magazines like that. If you're more interested in thermodynamics and you're looking at going further into the engineering field, I've got books like this for you. Oh, more, the green movement's really big right now. Everybody's into it. So this is one of those bandwagon books. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just basic reading, but there is some good information in there, so I thought that I'd offer that up to you. Oh, and then if you're looking at like building energy, the Green Energy Management book, Energy Efficient Building Systems, is like more of like a master's level engineering book, but for some of you, you might find something useful in there, or maybe you already are mechanically interested. This is my book full of business cards. So if you need contacts with some company or somebody that does something energy related, or there's some non-energy related things in here, but maybe they have some, there's a reason why they're in my book for some reason. So you can ask me for some of those people. Let's show you a couple other things here. Like I said, you don't have to spend a lot of money to do your final project. In fact, you can do it for completely no money whatsoever. We've got plenty of stuff at LCC as far as projects go, or project materials go. Here's an example here. This is a kilowatt. So you plug it into the wall, and then you plug in right here your appliance, and then you can measure with all these buttons right here, you know, the performance of that particular thing, and find out, you know, how energy efficient or inefficient it is. So this is one example. You can take this and use this as a project. People have done that in the past. Pretty cool device. It comes with the instruction booklet too, so don't think that you have to try to figure out what's going on. Let's see here. I have multimeters. So if you've never used a multimeter before, I've got them, and you can use that to, you know, check electric current, voltages, things like that on some of your project devices. This is a amorphous silicon solar panel with kind of a typical tubular connector. I've got solar panels and all kinds of other stuff like that, so if you want to do a project like that, you don't have to go out and buy one. I've got them, unless you have some home project that you want to work on or that you've already been working on. And if I haven't mentioned already, you can work in groups, and if you've already got some project that you've already been working on or thought about working on at your house or somewhere else, that's fine. And if you live in an apartment, let me show you a couple of other things I've got. Here we have the educational solar energy kit with the wonderful wood grain background. This, if you can tell, these little blocks right here are little tiny, very poorly made solar panels, and they fit into this little plastic casing right here, and then you can hook it up to a fan. Interestingly enough, though, the fan has a little motor on it that can be run backwards, so if you put wind on this, it'll actually produce electric current. So there's a couple different ideas that I have for this. This is a very basic kit, you know, it's for kids basically. But you can come up with some cool stuff, and you can learn a lot about electricity, a little bit about motors, solar panels, maybe a little bit about wind too. So you know, if this is the level that you're at, this might be a good project for you. But again, you know, you can take this, modify it, and do all kinds of fun stuff with it. So there's that. Again, same kind of thing. Pico turbine windmill kit. All the parts necessary to build this wind turbine right here, even the electric motor itself. Now, I will tell you that you do not have to build this wind turbine. You can take these parts and come up with some other design or something better, or use some extra parts or, you know, some other things and make something way cooler than this. But this is what the kit gives you, but if you have limited amounts of space, this might be a good thing. As you can see, they've got cutouts and all that stuff. There's little pieces of wood and copper and all that in there. So if you want a Pico turbine, let me know. And finally, we have the incredible intelligent fuel cell car. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not particularly intelligent. So let's open it up and have a look and see what's inside here. Alright, we have the chassis. As you can see, there's a motor housing right in here. Okay, so